Hello, and welcome back to 950 Club Anime Podcast. I am Jack.
I'm Jamal, and we
Ah,
have a special guest with us today. Um, how can I put this? I would say she is a powerhouse in the voice acting industry, and she has played in some really, really big shows. She's played some of our favorite characters, and you could hear her currently this season on season two of Hell's Paradise as Sagiri, who is definitely one of Jack's favorite characters. And he's been talking about this show since he read the manga. So it's a really big deal for you to be on here with us. But we had the wonderful, the talented Marisa Duran with us today.
Hello. Thanks for having me, guys.
and thank you for joining.
Of
Yeah.
course. I love the artwork in the background of Jack's room right now. That's pretty
Oh,
sick.
man.
Yeah, this is an artist that retired, and like any artist that does Hell's Paradise, even now, they're literally 10 out of 10s.
hmm
Cosplayers too, because they know, you know, the good stuff,
Yeah.
really.
Mm.
I'll give you a quick zoom in.
Wow.
The artist's name is Uniqlo. She retired a couple years ago.
That's beautiful. That's so cool.
It's not the only one I have. I also have.
See, look at this.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, yeah. Just this is just a preview of the stuff he's going to ask you to sign when you come to
That
a
checks out.
convention
That
in
checks out.
Chicago.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
one's from Mad Matsu. Mad Matsu.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's one of
that's
your
so cool.
favorites.
Yes, yes. And finally, a gift that Jamal gave me for Christmas a couple years ago. Sagiri in the bathhouse look.
Yo, I literally have that on my bookshelf right now.
Ah,
When the
wonderful.
show first came out, I kind of went crazy and
Mm,
bought a whole bunch of merch. And then there was like a that came out that was like $200, and I was like, I'm not buying that one. We're not doing that.
Not yet,
mm,
not yet. That's the
Yeah,
nah,
not
bonus.
yet. Do you guys want to send it to me for free? Then I can make,
yeah.
a social media post and be like, hey, Crunchyroll, here you go. But otherwise, I
Or
ain't buying it.
yeah, or if Crunchyroll or Sony or anybody or Mappa decides to
Mm,
do a Hell's Paradise movie.
that
That'd
would
be
be nice.
crazy.
That would
That'd
be
be so
crazy.
cool.
Oh, that would be nice. See, that's back in the day. We used to call that. We used to have a segment called Wallet Slayers of stuff that we saw and that we wanted, but were like ridiculously expensive, and that would be what we would consider the Wallet Slayer.
100%. Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Um. So the first question that we always ask everybody is we love origin stories here. So it's a two-parter. It's your acting origin story and your anime origin story. And I got a bit of info here that you caught the acting bug around the age of 2 when you were singing and dancing to Barney.
Yeah. Yeah. True story.
Okay.
Can confirm. I,
Now,
I'll go ahead.
no, that checks out because Barney was a big deal until they came out with that like weird documentary about it.
I know,
But
right? I don't know why, but as a kid, I was like obsessed with that show. And
a lot of
so,
us were. A lot of us
right?
were.
I would find like, I don't know, like my mom's like clean laundry and put it on like a costume and then like sing and dance. And so my parents were like, she's gonna be that child. Um, and then I don't, I guess as a kid, maybe it was just like I had no inhibitions. I could be carefree. There was no fear of judgment. And then as I got a little older, like into second grade, school became a little harder. And suddenly it was like, hey, you have to focus and like be a good student. And theater became like the only, I don't want to say the only way, but the primary way for me to be able to be creative and to actually be the weirdo that I was as a little kid that had all this energy. And my mom at the time, every summer in the Dallas Morning News, there would be like this list of all these summer camps. And my mom was always like, all right, look through and circle the ones that you think look interesting. And we had tried a bunch of different sports camps, and I was like, I don't know. And then there was this, it was like a musical theater variety camp with Garland Civic Theater. Um, and so we signed me up for that. And I just never stopped after that. I've taken like a couple of hiatuses, I think, from burnout, but
Mm,
otherwise, I kind of knew that that was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, which is insane because I was in second grade. Um, but yeah, so then I grew up doing theater in school and at like local community theaters. Um, in middle school, I actually took a bit of a break and started doing choir. And then in ninth grade, I was doing choir and was like, I'm going to take a break from theater. And then at the end of the year, I saw one of their productions and I was like, okay, actually, I really miss theater. So then I decided not to do choir anymore because you could only do one thing because high school is silly. So yeah, I did theater. And then I was fortunate that my parents were incredibly supportive of my acting career. So I got a BFA in acting from TCU in Fort Worth. And while I was there, I discovered kind of like on camera voiceover work.
mm,
So started diving into that. And so one day Funimation had like an open casting call via email. Um, there was this e-blast that would go out weekly from this thing called The Column online. And it was a DFW Metroplex casting call thing. Basically, it's like local theater companies put their auditions in there. Sometimes you'd find short
okay.
film auditions, and Funimation put an open casting call in there because they knew the actors were there. So I'm the weird theater kid that likes auditioning. So I sent an email, even though I'd never tried it before, and got a time slot. So I showed up, the next week and picked three sides from an audition binder, and then I didn't hear anything for a really long time. And, in theater, if you don't book anything in 2 weeks, if you don't hear anything, you didn't book it. Um, I didn't hear anything for like 6 months. And I forgot I auditioned. And then I just got an email one day that was like, hey, do you want to come in and record Walla on this show? And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but okay. So yeah, that was in, I think November of 2015 is probably when I got the email to come in. And then I actually recorded on December 2nd, I believe, 2015. So that's how I got into anime by accident, kind of.
Mm,
Well,
that's
that's it's kind of like a weird osmosis with Dallas, and it's fascinating because I for years and years Dallas has always been fascinating me with in terms of Funimation because
Hmm.
that's the headquarters, and and from all the interviews we've had prior, most of them are from Texas, and it's kind of like does everyone know? Is it like an open secret kind of thing? Like how Chicago has the second city, like oh okay yeah, all these actors lived here at one point.
Honestly, it does feel that way at this point, especially now that anime is considered so mainstream and like cool. And so
It's
mm,
now people are growing up wanting to be an anime voice actor. And so I think it really put Dallas on the map as far as performance goes. Like if you want to do anime, this is where you go. So a lot of
yeah.
people, even if they want to end up in LA, they'll come here first as like a stepping stone and then make the jump out there. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
that is cool. That's a good question, Jack, because I think everyone that we have interviewed is based in Dallas. So, it's just you always think of California, but you don't really think of Dallas, and it's like,
Yeah, I remember years ago.
okay.
There's this one website. It's called screwattack.com, and it used to be a video game website. They eventually became Deathmatch. They're the osmosis of the
Oh,
Deathmatch video
wow.
series, and they did a special segment going in this Funimation studio, and they actually saw some actors, perform there and stuff.
Wow.
So that's always been a backlog kind of thing. Like that's something to do when you're in Dallas. That's kind of like I want to move there.
Right. Do it. We have fun here.
Hey,
Sometimes Texas is not great, but sometimes it's okay.
uh,
Everybody's kind of got that thing going on because
Sure.
we're Chicago. We're I'm suburbs of Chicago, so
Okay, cool.
we have our great stuff, and then there's things that we just kind of it's
Yeah,
just part of the
exactly.
aesthetic. um okay, so I love to like dive back into like people's early careers. So I was just, doing my research on you, and I came across a little something called reverse engineering.
Yeah,
So how was it to do that?
it was so fun. It was honestly like one of the most organized film sets I've ever been on, which is crazy because it was technically like a university student production.
Mhm.
But everyone had their assigned roles and like we got paid and everything was like on schedule and it was also just really fun. the script itself was, I think, really well written.
I
And there were
thought so
moments.
too.
Yeah, there were. Oh, so you watched it? Let's go.
Oh yeah, I watched
Um,
it. Oh yeah, I
Sick.
watched it.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know. Like having a really strong script helps, and then having good actors that like really understand their characters and can just be silly helps. Um, I remember so Holton, who plays like my male counterpart in that show,
Hmm.
there was an age difference of like I want to say like 6 or 7 years between us, but I look really young. And so that's why they cast me. But they did tell me that they were a little nervous at first because when they saw me in auditions, they really liked me, but they thought I looked too old, possibly. And then when they put
Really,
me next to Holton, they were like, "Oh, okay, actually, it's not that bad." So I was like, "Okay, cool."
it
But
worked for
yeah,
me. It worked for me.
yay!
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
definitely.
good time. Oh gosh, when did we? That was did we film that during COVID? I think we did.
Mm, maybe, ooh, that
I
sounds
don't remember.
okay. I mean, I could. It was a pretty small. There wasn't a lot of people in it, and there was like
Mm-mm.
not a lot going on in the background. So I could, if it was during COVID, I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see it because it was there was maybe two people in a scene at a time. So
right.
I could imagine it was during COVID.
Yeah.
That was cool. Um, Something else that I saw a few episodes of this was the mystery of the Batman.
Yes.
So how was it to dive into that, to even as what it was to, deal with in the Batman universe in a in
Yeah.
a off way.
That would, oh gosh, it feels like it was forever ago at this point. And in a way, it kind of was because it was pre-pandemic. So, like everything since then has been fake.
Yeah.
Um,
Indeed, productions are way different too, oddly enough, too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. But it was super cool because Ryan, who was like our director, writer, know-it-all of the series, because he's a huge fan, really understood the characters and how to write for them. And I have never, at the time, had never done something that was like supposed to be like film noir old school. So everything was technically in color, but we ended up getting, I think, some black and white shots too, and like changing the coloring and editing. Um, I, to be completely honest, really didn't know much about Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, any of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So reading these scripts was kind of like my first foray into that world. And Ryan was super nice and like answered questions and let me know a lot of stuff, which was super helpful. Um, and we filmed like the first episode probably a year or two before we filmed the rest. Um, and it was cool because like I was playing Barbara and she was just in like her normal
Mhm.
clothes, just the normal girl. And that was really fun. And I also wore like a really ridiculous wig and a particular like flashback that's in black and white. And it was like an
Mhm.
orange wig, but you really couldn't even tell because,
Yeah, for the bounce off the camera. Yeah.
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 Um, but we quickly decided to ditch the wig. It did not last long. And then we just used my normal hair and figured out something to do with it. Um, but yeah, I remember in some of the later ones, we filmed out in Mineral Wells, Texas, at this big,
Mhm.
like, haunted, technically, it's like an abandoned hotel that we had to get, like, permission to film in. So it was,
Hmm.
in fact, pretty dang creepy. I did, in fact, have to hold a small child, which I had never done before.
Wow.
Um, it was a really cool experience, though. I need to go back and watch them because I haven't done that in a long time.
No. Yeah, and we're big DC fans, so, and the irony is that we like this, like besides the comics, we like the super niche stuff, like the podcasts, the episodic stories, the independent productions, the animated movies compared to the
Yeah.
mainstream movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's always fun, just to see, what things look like when they have like that freedom that's independent of, the big Hollywood thing. And I think that's kind of why, we kind of gravitate towards anime too, because it's a different style of storytelling,
Yeah.
So it's always fun to see like these dives back into people's early careers and where they got started. um which okay, okay, all right. um Another podcasting, something's amiss at Juniper's house.
Yeah.
So I listened to the first episode.
Cool.
and it's like I'm not much of a like horror type guy, but that's like my kind of, if I need to, if I'm gonna and take in that kind of stuff, I like that kind of like creepy, like strange crawling on the back of your neck type thing.
Yeah.
So how is it to like record like a story like that?
Really fun. Anytime I get to work on like some sort of audio drama like that, it's
Mm,
so freeing as an actor because when I'm doing anime, I it's so technical and mechanical and I need to try and match the flaps as close as I can. And sometimes that can inhibit the acting that's allowed in the
mm,
moment. But when I'm doing an audio drama, it's just my voice, right? So like I have a little more freedom to play with my reads and how I want to perform as that character. I believe Kayla had mentioned to me last summer because we were in a production of Othello together, and they were like, "Hey, I'm writing this audio
mm.
drama. I think I have a role for you, and it's not done yet, but like when the time comes, I'll let you know." And so they messaged me again in like October, November, and we're like, "Hey, production's gonna start soon. Here's what we're thinking. We're trying to get the money." And we all got paid, which was so nice. Um, and they actually ended up casting me as two roles, and one it shows up a little less, but it's two very different sides of
Mm,
me. And honestly, neither of them are like what I'm usually doing in anime, which is really exciting. Sage is like this quiet, mysterious, very misunderstood girl.
yeah,
Um, and basically, the goal was to make her sound wispy, right? Like she's this thin, wispy character.
she
And
comes
then,
off that way. She definitely
yeah,
comes off that way.
I'm excited for people to hear the next few episodes because she comes in and does a little bit more, so that's exciting. Um, and then I play the younger brother Kai, and he's like,
Mm,
I think supposed to be 10 or 12 or something,
yeah,
maybe
somewhere in
like seven
there.
or eight. But
Yeah, he's pretty young.
yeah, he's a precious little bean, and getting to voice like an actual young boy that's sweet and innocent, not like rough and tumble, is
Mm,
very exciting because that's usually like what I would do if I voice a dude, a little dude. Um, but yeah, it's two very different voices, two very different characters, and I'm really like honored that Kayla and Dustin knew my range well enough to say, "Hey, Marissa can do this." That was a huge compliment.
mm. Yeah, it's really good from what I've
Yeah,
heard
it's
so
it's like a
far. So,
slow burn, like mystery
mhm,
thriller, but
yeah,
it gets crazy. Just trust me on that.
I'm following it. Like I don't follow a lot on Spotify, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely following that, and I
Yay.
definitely recommend it. Again, something's amiss with at Juniper's house, so everybody should go out and check that out.
Yeah,
I
I have a
believe.
few true crime fans, so that they'll love it.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah, it fits in there too. It fits in there a little bit. So you mentioned something that I wanted to touch on too, because you mentioned being in Othello
Hmm.
over the summer. So how is it like? How was it being in Othello, and how do you like acting in these different forms, the on screen versus like the voice stuff versus like actual theater acting?
Yeah. Othello was such a cool experience. I haven't performed out at that park here in Dallas in like 10 years. And so it was like right after I graduated high school was the last time I did it.
Mm,
Um, so it was really cool to be back out there. And so much is the same, but so much has also changed. Like I'm a very different person now. And technically playing Desdemona, she has never been like a bucket list role for me. Like I've never really given much thought to it. Um, but we set Monty, our director, set our production in the 90s. And so instead of being a victim, Desdemona has a little more power. And he said that the reason he cast me was because I showed strength and he didn't want her to be a victim. And I was like, that's incredibly cool. Usually, like, it can be hard in Shakespeare when you're supposed to be playing like the damsel in distress and they don't necessarily want strength. So it was
Yeah,
nice to
and
hear that that benefited me.
yeah, specifically Shakespeare too. That's a very
Yeah.
distinct, yeah, not damsel, but a well-refined woman.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Shit.
Jamal,
Oh
it, it'll
no.
be, it'll be back, quote
Okay, cool.
unquote. Ah, let's double check if it's recording. Still recording.
Oh, there. Oh, good.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
But
you're
my one cousin, she does New Mexico theater, and she does she did
oh,
the Tempest, the outdoor theater, similar
yeah.
setup. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Is that the only Shakespeare you've done too?
No, I honestly at this point most of my resume is Shakespeare, which is really funny because I it didn't start out that way, but now that's kind of just what I do, and I really enjoy
Oh,
it. Like I like the challenge and the puzzle of figuring out what is being spoken and like how can I make this fancy text accessible to a modern audience
yeah,
without
and
completely butchering what Shakespeare wrote.
similar anime, kind of like its own transition, and
Yeah,
yeah, and like and with Hamnet, becoming popular now, it's just gonna come back in the surface. I've seen it like it comes in waves with Shakespeare Love and
yeah,
Curiosity.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But it's interesting because I grew up doing theater and then I tried to go to on camera and then I found voiceover. But I kind of feel like voiceover is more of an in between theater and film. So I kind of made the hardest jump first from theater to on camera and then made a slightly easier jump. Um, Theater is usually depending on the space, but it's a little bigger, right? Because you have to play to the back of the house.
Mhm.
Now the back of the house could be a black box theater and it's only 3 rows and everyone can see everything you do. Or it could be a giant proscenium stage and you have to project to the back of the house and everyone needs to know what your body language is because they can't see your face. Um, Meanwhile, on camera, depending on what lens they're using, they could be right up in your face and they're going to see absolutely everything. So having to learn to go from big animated expressions to small, subtle, feel like you're doing nothing expressions was actually a really difficult thing for me, at least at first. I remember I took a class with a casting director and he told me I blink too much. And at the
Mm.
time, I wore contacts. And so my eyes
Mm.
were just dry. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just who I am as a person.
Uh,
Um, but that got me really in my head and like really thinking about, like, oh no, like, am I too express? Like, and I didn't necessarily know how to dial down who I was because it felt like I had to dial down myself. Like, it wasn't just a character choice. It was like, no, I am too much. And I was like,
yeah,
Mhm.
that
you
doesn't feel right. I don't like that.
it's the character separation thing. I've heard
Yeah,
that before too, because the expression with too much blinking means you're lying.
right.
Things like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep. And I can always, like, when I watch movies, I can tell that they don't blink a lot, but I'm also not conscious of my blinking, right? Like, I'm not
yeah,
deciding to, it just happens. So I didn't know. I had no idea.
yeah.
But it taught me a lot. And I also was doing more film stuff, like when I first graduated college. And I have
Mhm.
vocally sounded like this since I was probably in middle school, definitely high school. But I look younger than I am. And so a lot of the casting directors for on camera work didn't know where to put me because I sound older, but I look younger. And so I was kind of getting cast in weird places and going to casting calls for weird things like young mothers, but I looked young enough to play the daughter of the other people that were there for the same role. Um, and so I kind of took a step back from on camera for a bit because I was like, I feel like I need to age into what I seem to be getting called in for.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's kind of actually when voiceover started for me because I realized it doesn't necessarily matter what you look like, except in cases of proper representation, but it does matter what you sound like. And so I remember hearing Brittany Karbowski as Black Star and Soul Eater and being like, wait, that's a girl? Wait, that's so cool. And
Mhm.
That's a
I
very
knew that was
specific
nothing I'd ever
one.
be able to do on camera. So I
Yeah.
really liked that. I found it freeing. Um, yeah, and I was able to dive into voiceover basically right before the pandemic started. Like the timing was insane. And it was,
Mhm.
I didn't even plan it that way. It just happened.
Uh,
That's great timing though, because like right around COVID was when like anime kind of exploded over here.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
like
And
it's
all my like theater and on camera work dried up because we couldn't be in
mhm.
person. So,
It's nice to like I always say this because I never really thought about like there's a voice behind these characters, right? You never really think about it. Like I see, like you watch cartoons and you see like Hanna Barbera and you see all the names and you notice and like, oh, I see the same name over and over again, but I never like it never clicked like there's people saying this stuff.
yeah.
yep.
And we grew up with Looney Tunes with Mel Blanc, and he did
Yeah, Mel
a
Blanc,
thousand
exactly.
voices. And it's
Right.
like, yeah, only one person can do all that, but it's like not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's funny because that seems to be like the consensus amongst most people who have watched cartoons growing up.
Mhm.
Because I hear it all the time on Kristen Freeman's voice acting mastery podcast of people being like, I would watch cartoons, and to me, the voice just was the character. Like there was no actor voicing the character. It just that
Right.
character existed. And I was like, that's such a good point. Like we didn't have the wherewithal to think about there being an actor behind it. It was just, oh, this character's on screen. It must be real. Like,
Mhm.
it's so crazy.
It is. It's like once you get older and you're like, I feel like I've heard this voice before. Or
And now we
this
have
sounds a lot
IMDb,
like.
so I just go Google it and figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
People love
Exactly.
connecting the dots and all that.
You love that's part of that's kind of like part of like falling in love with your new favorite voice actor. Like you're like, I feel like I know that voice. Let me go see. And then it's like, yeah. And that's the cool thing about it. It's like, okay, now it's like, I like this person. Oh, they're in this. I'm gonna watch this because of them.
Yep.
And I think that's such an important aspect of voice acting. And I think with the advent of AI and how they're trying to integrate it, and we see it and we hate it, just so you guys know. Um, it's that you're not going to get that. Like we discuss all the time, like our favorite voice actors and voice actresses, and it's like, oh, there's persons in this. Like I knew it. Oh, this person in this. I gotta go watch it. And it's not like, all right, I'm just going to watch the episode for their character. It's like, no, they're in this. I'm going to watch the whole thing, even
Yeah.
if I'm just getting to the one part that they have in this one episode. And that's such an important connective factor because we see that with like acting, with on stage. It's like, oh, okay, this is a Denzel Washington movie. I'm going to go get it. But it seems like they don't see that as much with fans when it comes to voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a real thing. Like we will follow you
Yeah.
across
There's
shows.
a substance. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So, okay, let's get into something fun real quick. So you like Overwatch
Yes.
and Marvel Rivals.
Sure
All
do.
right. You're gonna have to get me into Marvel Rivals because I can't like I've tried to play it a couple times and I'm like, I don't know if I'm good enough for this. But I love the Marvel stuff. So I kind
Yeah.
of want to get into it.
Do
So
you
like
are you on PC or console?
I'm on PlayStation 5.
Oh,
Same.
sick. Okay, same.
Mm,
That so being on console is a blessing and a curse because you can always select console only and then you'll only be matched
yeah.
with other console players and that helps a lot because when you're doing crossplay with PC players it can be hard.
Oh yeah.
Um
They got a competitive advantage,
They
just
have an
not
they
fun.
advantage.
do.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
hits different, bro. Um I also find that it's easier to play usually like on weekdays, either during the day or at night. If you play on a weekend,
Mhm.
everyone and their dog is online and the games
Oh
are a lot
yeah.
harder
Mhm.
because all the tryhards are on.
Yeah.
Um, it also is a little bit easier for me because I have like a consistent group that I play with. And if
Okay.
I'm solo queuing, the game sucks. But if I'm with my crew, at least I got some good support.
Yeah,
So even
Oh
if
yeah,
I'm
boy.
having an off day, they can help me.
yeah.
Like, did you do the tournaments with your friends, or have ever participated in the big one?
It's so funny that you say that because we literally signed up for like the PlayStation tournament that's happening on
Okay.
Saturday. And so we got a full six stack and we're gonna be in there.
Phenomenal,
That is
phenomenal.
awesome.
Yeah, it'll be
That is
fun.
awesome. See, I love it. I love it. This falls right in line with you, Jack, going to Evo.
Yeah, and I played Rivals last month. A streamer I follow, she assembled a group. She's from Australia, so it was a nice internet, like my first ever actual international true
Was it at like a
thing.
Mhm.
weird time for you, or was she at a weird time?
It's 12 hours, 13 hours ahead near Japan time, or 15 hours. Yeah,
Whee!
I think it was nighttime for her. It was like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock for me. Yeah,
Okay,
but it was fascinating, very fascinating,
that's so
Mhm.
cool.
and she played it for since it started, and the only ones I could do well are the floaties like Iron Man. So I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's fair.
That was
I
going to be my question. Like, who do you play with?
Yeah, so of course being a console pleb, I'm over here with my
Mhm.
joysticks. So my aim
Okay.
is okay, but it's not fantastic. I will say I feel like my aim is better in Rivals than it is in Overwatch, and I don't know if that's like a system thing or what. But let's see. I'm usually a support player no matter what I play, even in D&D.
Mhm.
Um, So let's see. Mantis is probably my most used. Cloak and Dagger, Rocket, Atom, and then if I'm playing DPS, I'm really good at Scarlet and Squirrel Girl, which
Yeah.
admittedly are
Okay.
like the two that don't really take any aim, but like whatever, whatever. And I, to be completely honest, have never tried a tank.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Tanks are
But
fun.
I
Yeah.
know where I sit in the game. Like I'm not a frontliner.
No, no.
See that? See, I'm the guy that's like, I'm gonna run out in the middle of danger,
You're
and
Wolverine then.
everybody's gonna
Yeah.
get mad at me for doing it.
Yep.
But
You're
I'm
Jeff
gonna
the
get
Shark.
shot like three different ways. I'm gonna be like, all right, this person's here, this person's laying on the floor, this person's doing that. Go get them,
Real.
avenge my death.
I feel like you could Spider-Man is such a pain in the butt to play against, but if you have a really good one on your
Mm,
team, that's great. And he's fun because I mean he's slinging all over the map, right? He's crazy.
mm,
Blade is also pretty fun. I'm trying to think of who else. I feel like they have a lot of characters that have different like movement abilities as part of their kit,
yeah.
and that makes it really helpful because I need a way to get out.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now Rogue debuted, and now that's like a retcon. And yeah.
Yeah, Rogue is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the like concept of it, like because I've kind of like just like the online community has gotten so toxic that I kind of like have drifted away from playing games like that. But I want to get into Rivals just because they have so many characters in there, and it'll just be
Yeah,
fun to play with them.
yeah, and it's
And
wild because like I started playing Overwatch back during the beta. It's been like
mm,
10 years or whatever, um, and I I really enjoyed the game, but I wasn't necessarily good at it. But I had a group of friends, so I played all the time, and that's like the game that I like got started. I don't want to say got started with, but like that got my like my love for the FPS games, basically.
mm,
But then Rivals came out as Overwatch was kind of dying because there were a bunch of promises made that unfortunately like weren't able to be kept and people were upset. And I
yeah,
was like, I'm just happy to have the game to play, to be honest. But then
mm.
Rivals came out and did basically everything Overwatch wanted to do, but better, at least at this point in time. And now it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I saw a tweet that was like, Marvel Rivals is the best thing to ever happen to Overwatch. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, but
Yeah. Right,
but I
right through
also
those
think,
laser beams.
yeah, with everything that Overwatch and Blizzard just announced for like this upcoming year, I can tell that a lot of this was in the works for a while, but of course they can't say anything because none of it was like out in the open.
Yeah.
So maybe they've been working on this since, before Rivals came out. Who knows? Regardless, I'm just happy that we have a game and that they got rid of the two because now we just have regular Overwatch again.
Yeah, that's we had there were a couple of our friends like were on here complaining about Overwatch when Overwatch 2 came out and how they didn't like it and they couldn't play Overwatch 1 anymore and they had a huge rant on it. So like I'm glad that it's like getting back to a point where it's like, all right, you guys are listening and implementing the stuff that you promised.
Yeah.
And I was jilted by destiny when they did that because they promised so much. And when I got the game, this game stinks. There's nothing here. And like I quit playing it. And I still to this day I have people like, no, it's good now. You should try it. You should try it. And I'm like, I will never.
I've been burned. I
I
will
will
not.
never. I've been burned. I will never go back. So I hope things. I know Blizzard went through their legal difficulties.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, they got all that stuff settled and
Yeah.
they're in a better place where, the fans can enjoy the game the way it's supposed to be played. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Rivals another shot. You sold me. I'm gonna
I
give
believe.
Rivals a shot. And I'll probably stink, but it's all right.
That's okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
It,
It's all about having fun.
and would you say that would be a dream role, like you voicing a Marvel
That's a
superhero in
good question.
Rivals?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
you've only done one video game so far, right?
I've done a few, but it hasn't been anything like most of them are indie projects, so they're not like on a huge
Mm.
scale. Um, so yeah, fingers I would love to be in a AAA title like Overwatch or Rivals. That would be I would break down crying, and then I would break down crying again when I got to the studio to record, and then I'd cry afterwards, and then I'd cry when we went to like a cast party and I got to meet everybody. Like it would be awesome.
That would be cool. We're gonna put that out in the ether, and you know we're gonna get you on there. We're gonna add you to the list.
Sick.
Um, so we have a friend of the show, our beloved B. She sent us a few questions that she wanted us to ask you.
Mhm.
So the first question is, what is the hardest thing about voice acting?
Hmm. I think the hardest thing about voice acting in general is that it is so isolating. Um, growing up doing theater, you're on stage with everybody, you're in the rehearsal room with everybody, and you really get to know the people that you're working with on a personal level. And when you're doing voice acting, most of the time we're recording individually. So I might run into people in the lobby.
Mm,
If I'm lucky enough to have a group recording session via Zoom for an indie project, that's amazing because then I can actually, react accordingly to what I'm receiving as an actor. But most of the time, what I'm doing is just me in a booth, right? With like the director coming through the headset. So it can be isolating. And I think that for me is the hardest part because I thrive when I can hear, especially like an audience interaction when you're doing live theater.
mm,
You live for that moment. If you
yeah.
can hear sniffles in the audience and they're crying, or if you deliver a joke and they're laughing, that's amazing. When you're voice acting, you're like, well, hope that joke landed. Like, I don't know.
Mm,
So I feel like sometimes you have to be your own director if you're doing like your own takes and it's not being live directed.
mm,
But the moments when you get to record with other people can like really change the reads in the project. I would love to see more group reads maybe someday in the future, but I also know it's kind of like a technical nightmare. Um, but yeah, I would say that's the hardest thing is acting by yourself sometimes.
I can't imagine like what it's like to go from that. Like we're wrestling fans, so we like do like our wrestling content every now and then. And
Yeah.
I remember like Stone Cold Steve Austin doing an interview, and he was like, it was so weird being out there during COVID because they had like the screens with people on it, but they couldn't hear anything. And he's like, I'm used to hearing feedback from the crowd, and that's what's motivating me to say this or do that, and not having that, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And so like that, I think of that when you're talking about how isolating voice acting can be. It's like you're not getting that immediate feedback. So, it's just kind of all right, wait till the project comes out and you kind of have to see then. But
Yeah.
by then it's like, I got that out. I don't, you know, so
Yeah.
and it's always fun. Like when we see like the videos on Instagram and stuff where it's like the voice acting things and you get the little shots of that. And
Yeah.
I personally I love seeing that stuff, but I'm with you. I hope there's more group reads in the future.
Yeah.
Um, her second question is, and thank you again, B, for these questions. Do you have to get a feel for the character based off of the Japanese VA, or do you try to make the character your own?
Ooh, good question. I I feel like, and I think most would agree that it is our responsibility to honor the original production. Um, and so usually we will listen to the J before we record ours. And I will look at the screen, but I also kind of like to close my eyes and just listen to the way it sounds because that's going to inform me more sometimes than what the animation is. Because sometimes they've recorded before they animated over there, right? Like that's their version of pre-lay animation. And so sometimes the mouth flaps actually don't match what they did or the sound they made. Um, but if I can hear it, I've now developed like a sense of, oh, this sounds tonally like she's starting off kind of angry, but then she gets sad, right? And so I want to imbue my own read of the line with that same kind of melody, for lack of a better term.
Mhm.
It is a lot like music, honestly. There is a cadence and a rhythm and uh, a range, like a vocal range to it. And I feel like it's my job to honor that in English in the same way that the Japanese voice actor was able to present it to us.
That's a great answer. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and that's why I appreciate Hell's Paradise because it does have that bounce
Mhm.
back, especially
Yeah,
with, everyone is so elaborate as they are. It's also like the
Mhm.
subtleties and the
yeah,
clarifying all these, mythical properties and stuff.
yeah.
It's back and forth. Like it's like t two peas in a pod with both versions.
Yep. And I have to hand it to our translators and the script adapters because the translators are basically taking verbatim what they say in the Japanese and just translating it out, right? So it may or may not even make sense in our grammatical terms. And then the script adapter takes that direct translation and adapts it to fit the mouth flaps, but also to make it more understandable. And so I that is a job that I would like to do, but I also am so glad that I don't because that feels like a lot of pressure. And I know that there's sometimes some discourse online about like sub versus dub. And I'm like, honestly, I'm just glad that we have it accessible. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
anyone who wants to watch it can. Um,
and it's because we're the older anime fans. We've had that like distinction forever.
yeah,
Like we grew up with Full Metal and
Mhm.
Trigun stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, English is great. Like there's no like fight, and it became kind of like a weird like meme, as it
yeah,
were.
Mhm.
And
yeah,
it's just a matter of like coming back full circle. You're like, hey guys, come on,
yep,
let's just enjoy this.
yep.
It's the best community out there.
And yeah, so huge props to
Yeah.
the writing teams because it is definitely a team effort and having a strong script helps the actors give strong performances, right? So it's a collaborative team effort all around and like we can't do what we do unless they do what they do. And so it's really satisfying.
That's man, Hell's Paradise. So let's dive into this more because Jack, I see you itching. So and we've touched on it a couple times. Like what is it like to play Sagiri? And like what does that character mean to you?
It's so funny because I feel like both Sagari and Hori are like two separate sides of me,
Okay.
but they're both parts of me. So Hori is very loud and brash and stubborn and fiery, and I can definitely be that way. Sagari is the more logical, stoic, reserved introvert side of me. And I really never thought that my first shonen protag would be an like a female with a deeper voice. Like I always assumed it would be like a spunky young boy, because that's what
Mm,
we always see. But Sagari is who I am when I think Sagari is who I am internally at all times. And she comes out to play when I need to be group mom, which
okay.
can happen quite frequently. And I do it willingly, but there is definitely like a nurturer side to her that she
Oh yeah.
doesn't even realize at first, and then she grows into it, right? Because we see that journey throughout the show. And now she desperately wants everyone to make it off the island because she cares about them. And she's always with May. She's always taking care of May.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel the same way. Like I think there's just I have this need to like take care of other people that I cannot explain. It's just part of me. And I think Sagari has the same thing. But it's also super cool because she's, non-binary coded. And although it's never explicitly stated, like you can gather from the material that she's likely non-binary.
Yeah,
And
and
so
her
for
really,
me,
Hmm.
yeah.
yeah, as a
Yeah.
non-binary actor to be able to voice a character like that's huge. And for it to be in a property like this, and for her to be a character I relate to, I mean, it's just like the universe handed something to me and said, "Hey, we have a perfect match," and I couldn't have
Hmm.
asked for more.
That's she's such a great character. So how was it to be nominated for a Crunchyroll Award for that?
Uh, Craziest morning of my life. I I woke up and I had a whole ton of notifications and I didn't know why. And so I opened Twitter and it's just a ton of people like tagging me and congratulating me. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I pull up the post and I see like what it is. And I was like, never in my wildest dreams did I assumed Alejandro would get nominated, right? Like I
Hmm.
forgot they were even a thing that existed. And then I immediately text my buddy Lexi and I was like, hey, buddy, have you been online recently? And they were like, no, what's up? And I was like, you should probably check your notifications. And then we both had a fangirl moment because Lexi and I were
Hmm.
in the same voice acting class with Kyle Phillips at one point. And so
Hmm.
for both of us to be nominated for that award in the same year was just a crazy moment. And Lexi was like a huge fan of horimiya before we ever met. And then they met me and then
Hmm.
they were like, I can't believe I met you. Now we're both nominated. What the heck is this? Um, yeah, it was a really exciting day. And I was like, it didn't matter to me if I won. It was just an honor to be listed alongside those names, right? Like that's crazy and so
And
cool.
and you mean Lexi Nieto,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
She
that's our first.
was our very first interview.
Yeah.
No
So
way. Small
yeah.
world.
So it
Wow.
was so cool to like, have that because we saw that you both were nominated in the same year. So it's kind of a cool like synergy moment for us.
Yeah.
But and again, let's do another one of Jack's favorites. Tomo Chan is a girl. So
Yes.
since
Yeah.
we're on the subject,
Hot take. Yeah, as much as I love Hell's Paradise, because Frieren came out the same year as well. Hell's Paradise was three, Frieren number two, number one was Toma Chan's a girl.
yes, that was
Oh,
his number one show of the year.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. So how was it to be on Jack's number one show of the year?
Well, now it's even more special knowing it's Jack's number one show.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
Um,
For 2023.
right. Um, it was anytime I get to work with Caitlin White, or
Mhm.
Caitlin, good Lord, Caitlin White is someone I went to school with. Caitlin Glass, the director. Um, it's an honor. I admire her work immensely, and I think she's great at redirecting actors because she is an actor herself. And she directed us for Tomo-chan, but she had also directed me in Horimiya and in Shadow's House. And so we had a good like working relationship and kind of understood how the other, you know, how I wanted to get feedback and how she gives feedback. Um, and Mifune is just like a complete moron, right? Like I get to be comedic relief.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember Caitlin mentioning that she was like, we could play around with like a Valley Girl voice. So we kind of played around with that. I ended up making her a little bit more like, I don't know, awkward and kind of nerdy sounding. And then Natalie, who played my counterpart, went more
Mhm.
Valley Girl. So that was kind of fun. Um, I don't know. I liked that I was like able to do something a little different. It was still my wheelhouse, but it was genuinely like, oh, I'm literally here for the fun of it. Like,
Mhm.
cool. Let's have fun. Also, I get to work with my buddy Lexi. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And then you mentioned Kate Glass. She's going to be Anime Central guest this year
Mhm.
in Chicago.
Yeah, sick.
So that's
Very
you know
small world day.
very yeah. This is a small world day, isn't
It is.
it? So yeah, that was cool because they like Tomo Chan. Like I would say that looking back, that was probably like the best cast of that year for sure because there were so many characters we loved on that show.
Yeah.
So like it was awesome. Um, okay, let me ask this question because then we could end with like happy stuff. So back in I want to say like August or something, you put out a post discussing your mental health,
Hmm.
and I took a lot from that. I was really moved by your words. Um, First of all, how are you mentally now?
That's so kind of you to ask. I honestly, I feel like right before 2026 showed up, I was like so ready for a new year and I could just feel that something good was coming. And it's been a long time since I felt that way about a new year. Um, and so far, I mean, it's been really good. I've definitely had some moments that have been tough and like I haven't booked some roles I wanted to book, but by and
Mm,
large, I feel like I am more hopeful and optimistic than I was. And I actually want to be social, even though I'm more of an extroverted introvert and still need to charge my social battery. I
mm,
want to go to things. I want to connect with people. I want to travel. Like all of these things that I had kind of lost my fire for are back. And I think a large part of that is that I'm now on like different medication. It was like my body got used to the old meds and they weren't doing anything anymore. And then, of course, switching over to new meds after 7 years of being on the other ones is hard. So I went through a bit of I don't know, I guess a valley there. But then I knew it would get better because it always does. And so came out on the other side and was like, okay, I feel pretty darn good actually. So it's one part medication change, and it's another part, I think, going to therapy and learning healthy coping mechanisms, learning how to better communicate with those around me, and also learning to ignore the crap, right? Because there's so much of that in the world right now. And
Yeah.
that's not to say that I push it away and never think about it. It's to say I recognize when it's too much for me and when I need to take a hiatus or step away, and then I can come back to it when I'm at full strength. Because if I'm not at full strength, I'm of no use to anyone. So
Mm.
Yeah, it's the world that world nowadays too. You need the offline, you need the online.
yeah,
It's just
Mhm.
you have to have some type of some type of relationship where it's like don't hurt me. It's a
yeah,
matter of perspective, but it's also a matter of discipline and kind of like
yeah,
Sagiri, kind of like that conviction.
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, it's you gotta like Jack said, you gotta have something. Like I have like a little tote, like a plastic tote that I keep under my bed, and I kind of need to get a new one because this one is like busting at the seams. I got like tape on it, but it's just like I just call it like my tote of memories, and it has like all sorts of stuff in there, like ticket stubs, like the license plate from my first car, just a whole bunch of like stuff, like happy memories or whatever.
Mm,
And so anytime I need that like recharge, like, all right, I'm feeling down. I need something to lift me up. I'll just dive into that, you know. So
that's such
um
a good idea. It's like a little time capsule too. It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
reminder of like all the cool stuff you've done over the years, the good things that have happened.
Hmm.
And when
Yeah,
the
it's
world feels doom and gloom and bad, it's really nice to have that little pick me up, that little reminder that no, things have been good and they will be good again.
exactly. And that's like I love people sending me greeting cards because I literally save every one.
Yep.
same.
Like so that they're all there. So it's like when I need that, I have all these memories because sometimes when you're in that fog, you can't find the light.
Yep.
And so when you have that light to go back to, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I need to change my perspective a little bit. Maybe it's not all bad. You know?
Yeah.
So my biggest question was like, how do you manage your mental health in a field where, like you said, you're going to hear a lot of no's. You may not hear anything back for 6 months. You're like you didn't land that role. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you maintain? How do you deal with the struggles within this industry?
Therapy definitely helps. Whenever I have something I need to vent about, I don't have to offload on my friends. I can offload to my counselor, who is an unbiased third party, and we love that.
Mhm.
Um, and then he offers, feedback and ways to cope with it, so that I don't store all that grief within me, or the anger or whatever, and I can let it out healthily. Um, I feel like because I grew up doing theater from such a young age, I got, I don't want to say I got used to, but I kind of got used to like the rejection after a little while. Like I learned how to cope with it at a younger age because I got started so young. And so by the time, I got to high school or college, I was like, oh, this is just how it is. I didn't mean it didn't hurt, but I understood that if it wasn't meant for me, then it wouldn't happen for me. But if it is meant for me, then it's going to happen. And I was like, okay,
Right.
cool. There's always more where that came from. Um, I think I think knowing that I'm in it for the art and not for the notoriety or the fame or even the money is kind of what keeps me going. Because if you're relying on social media followers or comments or likes to fuel your career, you're gonna wind up really sad and empty,
Yeah,
because at a certain point that's not gonna fill your cup anymore. So I'm in it for the art, I'm in it for the story, I'm in it for the connections with people and to the characters in the shows. Um, and I think that's what keeps me going at this point, and that's how I'm able to deal with the no email response or the 6 month delay or the oh, I didn't book the part. Just remembering that I'm lucky I get to tell these stories at all, and if I get to hop in the booth and audition for it and that's the only time I read for that character, at least I got to do it once.
Mm. Well, thank you for answering that, and
yeah, we do appreciate that
yeah,
because
Of
yeah,
course.
me and Jamal were talking about it prior, but like, yeah, we never really had that question to ask, and it's becoming more and more. We need voices like yours, honestly.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely. it's definitely an honor to, you know, allow yourself to be vulnerable in front of us like that. And it takes a lot of strength and courage to do so. So, like, we definitely commend you for that. And
Thank
thank you
you.
again. So, now on to happier stuff where things that, you know, you did hear yes on. Like, you're a part of some like really big franchises and like very um loved and some of the most popular stuff that's out right now. So let's just, you know what? Let's just go to number one because um, we have a running gag here that like I hate romance. Our other co-host Edwin says it all the time, and you know my wife tells me that sometimes too. Like you hate romance, you hate love. And so when they was it season one, you guys did the episode on horimiya, Jack.
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
season
yeah.
one, right? Okay.
Your career trajectory is literally when we started our podcast.
Yeah.
Like Horimiya was one of our first review shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, you throughout the bend, even Heron-san. Uh, we had a joke prior the show is creation. We would have a slice of life vending machine corner, and we'll have an isekai corner. And sure enough, that combined it to my next life as a vending machine.
Good.
Yeah.
So
Hilarious.
how was that? How was that role?
Mm.
Uh, Wait, for vending machine?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
yeah.
I was like, man, it sure would be funny to be a part of the show just for like like the word, the novelty of it. There's the word. I was like, what's the
Mhm.
word? Just for the novelty of it to be like, yeah, I'm in the vending machine anime. I really didn't think I would be. And then I just got an email one day and they're like, hey, do you want to play this character? And I was like, well, she's a redhead, so I guess that checks out. Um,
Mm.
yeah. And so she shows up, periodically, which is always nice because then I get a little email and I'm like, oh
Mm.
yes, of course. I'm so glad she came back. Sure,
Yeah.
let's go in. It's the
Yeah.
gift that keeps on giving.
And
I
it's
don't
three.
know that any of us asked for a season three, but apparently we're getting that. So
Yes,
We're
yes,
getting it.
yes.
cool,
It's
I guess.
it'll turn out to be like a Detective Conan or One Piece. So you'll do for another 20 years.
Mhm.
Will Moonami come back? We're gonna find out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like a friend of mine recommended the first season to me, and he's like, you know, it's trash, but it's good trash. And so, like, I went in there with low expectations, and I'm like, I mean, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right?
Like, I thought
Honestly,
the
Garrett
vending machine
Storms'
thing was,
Boxo kills me.
yeah,
That's my favorite part.
yeah, like it's really good. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. You know, it's probably because I went in there with like negative expectations. I was like,
That's
this
fair.
isn't too bad, and I'm still following. I'm like, again, I'm something. This was not something I thought would go 3 seasons, but you know,
None of us
I'm
did.
glad it is. I'm glad it is, and you know, people have work because of it. So keep
Yeah.
going, Vending Machine.
Woohoo!
All right, so Horimiya, we got to get into too because this was the show that kind of started my romance journey. That kind of won me over on romance a little bit because it didn't follow the conventional romance tropes. It was different, and I vibed with because I'm like, okay, I can understand these characters. I connect with this. I can buy this.
Yeah.
So you know, how was it to play Hori, who really is a beloved character in the community?
She's such a weirdo and so fun. It's I consider it like between that and Sagari, these have been like the honor of a lifetime. Hori was my first named role of any kind. I had only ever done Walla in bits. I had never even been a supporting. I had never played a character that had a name. It was always like female attendant 301B or whatever, you know?
Mm.
Um, and so when I got the booking email, I kind of had to go back into the sides and double check because I had no idea. I was like, are they sure? Like, do they know? Did they send this to the wrong person? um, because I mean, I was cat sitting for a friend that weekend at their place. And so I wasn't home with my setup. And I was like, well, it's due Monday morning at 10 a.m. I guess I should go home on Sunday night at 11 p.m. and record it. So I did. And I recorded for Hori and for Sakura. Um,
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought I would be our green-haired student council friend, and I was not. Um, that was my
Eh,
friend Celeste. But yeah, so I got the email, was totally shocked, and then quickly had to like text people that worked at Starbucks with me and be like, "Hey, who can pick up my shift tomorrow? Because I have to go record."
no big
um,
deal.
yeah, it was wild. I was also like, but I'm also under NDA, so I can't like talk about. I don't know. But yeah, it came out of nowhere, out of left field. Um, the honor of a lifetime. Caitlin and Sean, the AD, gave me the biggest chance, right? Because I had never had a named role. And so they were kind of hope. I mean, they knew I had theater training, so they knew that I was an actor, but I don't know if they knew that I had technical skill, right? Like it was going to be a learning experience. And it happened, we were recording during COVID, and my home setup wasn't like super, super great. So I was still going into the studio. And at the time, Crunchyroll was trying to move from their old building to the new one, and they
Yeah, yeah.
hadn't completed that process. So I would walk into the lobby. There was nothing on the walls anymore. Most of it was barren. And there was a security guard there, and I'd wave to him, and he'd wave to me. And then I'd walk back to my little studio, and I was the only person in the building. Like I would just go in my little room, and then I would hear Caitlin over the headset from her house, and I could hear Zach, our engineer, from his place. And I never actually saw them in person. I would just hear their voices. Um, and so in a weird way, it's like the pandemic robbed me of the chance for like a true first experience dubbing,
Yeah, I was wondering if it was a group because it felt like a group. It really did,
right?
especially in horimiya pieces. The that scene where you were in the
Mhm.
kotatsu. That's the
Yep.
best moment.
Fun fact, Bill Butts, who voices Kyosuke,
Yeah.
literally was at a convention over the weekend and sent me a picture of a moment from the Kotatsu episode, and he had signed it. And he just sent me the
Ah,
picture. He didn't even
Oh.
say anything else, and I just said
oh,
Kotatsu.
get
So that
the
was very
receipt
exciting.
on that. Oh
Yeah,
man.
but yeah, it was. I was intimidated, honestly, when I saw who I was cast with, and I looked them up online, and I said, "Oh, they have so many followers. They're like like I don't want to say they're like they're people. Like people know who they are, and they've been doing this." And I was like, "So who am I to show up and like be a lead in this anime?" I was like, "What if I suck?" And the imposter syndrome hit really hard. But everyone was so nice, and like Alejandro was super kind, and I like took a trip to LA and I got to meet him in person, so that was really cool because I was like, I hear your voice in the show, but I don't really know you. And now, of course, I hear his voice all the time because he's in everything. But also, we've
Yeah.
worked together enough that I know how he's going to deliver a line more often than not. So even if I'm recording and he hasn't recorded yet, I can assume how he's going to record it, and then I can deliver my line accordingly, which is crazy. But yeah, everyone is super cool, super humble. Just grateful to be a part of it.
That's that's cool. So I personally thank you because now I could beat those I hate romance charges because of that show.
There you go.
So
It was definitely Jamal's like gateway into
it
meshing more with
was.
podcasts and
That's
how
awesome.
because me and Edwin bounced back with romance
Mhm.
since I got to know him, kind of thing. So it's kind of like how romance was still relatively niche at that time too. Like the closest like two shows I could think of in that threshold were oh uh, Toradora
Mm.
Mhm.
and my teen romantic comedy Snafu. It was horror me that
Oh,
pretty much kind of made that bridge over into this modern. Now we have polar opposites. Now I have my dress up darling, Tomo-chan.
Mhm.
yep,
Mhm.
Yeah, so
yep.
you're part of history.
Yay!
You are a part of history. Well, let's talk about more history because this got a season two as well. You're Frieren. So how does it feel to be in, such a beloved show, which I think it's back to number one on my anime list, I think. So
Yay!
mhm.
It. I was not expecting to be a part of it at all, honestly. I loved the story. I thought it was beautiful, and I really loved the music. Like that's what really sets the whole story for me,
Yeah,
and like what
Evan,
Mhm.
makes me emotional.
E- Evan Call. Yeah, he's just a show off. He really
Yeah,
is.
and so I got an email, and it was like, hey, we want you to voice this character. And there really wasn't like a whole lot available online about her. And so I was trying to do research, but I was like, I have no idea like really what she does or who she is. And the first time I went in, at the end of every episode, they do the like voices of things that happen in the next
Hmm.
episode, but you don't see
Yeah.
it. So I had to go in and record like a line for the next episode in that, but I had never seen her or heard her in the actual show, like visually. And so Jade was kind, and we actually went into the next episode because they had it, so I could listen to more of her and get a feel for what her voice sounded like. And that helped a lot because otherwise I would have been like, we're going off of one line, bro. I don't really know like what her range is. Um, but yeah, I love her relationship with Dankin.
Yeah, it's fun.
Um,
Yes, I
so
love it too.
pure.
It's not even like a daddy daughter kind of thing. It's more like yeah, we're kind of like weird co-workers together.
Yep, yep. This old man is my grandpa. Not really, but I adopted him. And Ben Phillips does a great job voicing him. I love it so much. Um, but and like even Laufin is kind of like an extension of me. She's the more like quiet, one line, witty person without even meaning to be. Everything she says is just super dry and deadpan, and you're like, is she joking? We don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
Mm.
especially
Unfortunately, she isn't in the new season because she did not pass her mage exam. But that's okay. She's still there in spirit, eating cookies and donuts somewhere.
once Daikin comes back again.
She'll be
Exactly.
back. She'll be back.
Where that
I'm
old
sure
guy
of
at?
it.
Where he at? I gotta throw donuts at him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do 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 do. All right, so To Be Hero X, which was definitely one of my favorite shows from last year,
Yeah.
and it's kind of blown up. I see everybody talking about it, and it's like kind of everywhere. So,
Yeah.
what was it like doing that?
That was also incredibly cool. And yet again, another show I really didn't expect to be pulled into because we didn't have auditions for that until later on for like other characters that came in. And so it literally was just like, I didn't even know it was recording until it like came out. And then it was like, oh, this is a thing that's happening. And then I got super sucked in because it was so like the way that they've combined the animation styles and the music and the storyline. I was like, where is
Hmm.
this going? And then knowing it was the same person who does Link Click, I was like, oh, well, this explains everything. Um,
Yeah,
And you're on
that,
that too. Link click too
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
that's
And
yeah.
I love, I think the animation is beautiful. I love the music.
Hmm.
And I also love how Emily directed us to be so natural. And there are still moments where it's like, oh, yes, action fight sequence. Let's go full shonen. But like,
Hmm.
for the most part, the conversations they're having are very natural. And
Yeah.
again, props to Macy for writing the scripts for us because she is the one that had to fine tune everything because the mouth flaps are so specific, especially
Hmm.
for that one. Um, yeah, I laughed because I was like, Emily, you play my younger brother in horimiya, and you basically just cast me as like Hori in the show, kind of. And she was like, yes, I did. So I found that funny. Um, but it had been a minute since I got to do like a really cinematic character.
Hmm.
And so being able to dive into those really like tender, heartfelt moments and the sad moments, I was like, this is what I live for. And it just reminded me of why I love what I do. And get when you get it just right, and the director's like, oh, I teared up, and you're like, yes. Um, it was such a special show, and I'm honored to be a part of it, and I can't wait for more.
Aw.
Me neither. But we're going to get a lot of fighting next time. Um,
Yes.
so that'll be fun. Um, well, we'll get you out of here in a couple more questions. We don't want to take up all your time because we definitely could.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
well,
Um,
the number one thing I do want to ask is a very specific role. Uh, it's because it's one of the most over. Like, if I had to pick top 10 shows we discussed over the years on our podcast, this is in my top five, honestly. Sugarland Apple Fairy Tale,
Oh.
mhm.
and you're Bridget. I love
Yep.
that character.
She's the worst until she's not the worst anymore.
Yes, yes. And it's
Yeah,
such a that show is beautifully twisted in a beautiful way.
it is. And all the character designs in the world is so beautiful, and everybody's eyes are so pretty. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
actually unfair, actually. Um, yeah, I love I feel like it's kind of one of those slept on shows, but the people who love it really love it. And so every now and then I'll have someone come up to me at a convention and be like, "Oh, you're in that show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I play the bad girl." um, but I love it because she starts out so rough and then she kind of has a redemption arc, even though
Yeah,
people still don't like her. Um,
it
but I
feels like a
love that.
swerve. Yeah,
Yeah, like I get to play the full gamut, right? That character arc is so cool. And I really hope we get more because they left it kind of on a cliffhanger.
yeah, and it's been
Um,
over 3 years, roughly
you
two, four,
know,
three.
yeah.
Hmm.
So one can only hope. But yeah, Bridget will always have a special place in my heart.
Yeah, it would be she's our friend, and
Hmm.
I've that's my number one show because that's a running gag of ours. Like that's the number one show I recommend to you. You gotta watch it. So
Yeah,
this is an endorsement.
Hmm.
there it is.
He will recommend the show. Jack, you got another one?
Well, what were you about to put up?
All right. So my next one was going to be conventions. So how like we see you, I think you just recently announced you're going to be at a convention like next month maybe or something.
Yeah,
So like what's the feeling of like going to a convention for you? Like how important is it for you to like connect at those
it's
events?
it's so interesting because I definitely still feel like this weird imposter syndrome because I'm like, I'm just as weird and awkward as anybody who likes anime, and yet you guys want my autograph. I'm like, I'm just a little guy, you know? I'm just out here doing what I do. Did you know I started this by accident? Like, so sometimes it's very surreal because so many of these people grow up wanting to do this as their job, and I just happen to fall into it. Um, and so I try to be honest with people about that. And I'm like, my path to getting in is so different from what it is now. I can tell you what I did, but I don't know that it's even possible anymore,
Yeah,
right?
do you like the comedian Bo Burnham?
Yeah,
Yeah, he has a famous quote mentioning like, "Don't ask me how I got famous." So, like that's like the hard, like I'm the most unqualified person ever. Don't listen to my
right.
advice.
Yeah. And I've learned so much over the years, but there are times I still feel like that unqualified person, right? But I recognize like how lucky I am to have this opportunity to have booked the roles, to have auditioned for and then booked the roles that then people actually care about enough to want to see at conventions. Because it's literally like there's so many and it's luck of the draw to an extent because you never know what show's going to pop off.
Hmm.
Um, so I consider myself very lucky to be able to go at all. Um, and now to like have a character that this showed up today as a Funko Pop.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I saw
This
the I
is
saw the
crazy.
unboxing that you did.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy. But it's just a reminder of like, I don't know, for me, the power of art and storytelling. Um,
mm,
when I go to conventions, I try really hard to get out of my own head and just focus on the other people because it's it's such a like an important moment for them. People of all ages. Like I'll never forget like the first convention I ever did here locally was in Arlington. And
mm,
I remember this girl was walking by with her family. I don't know, she was probably 10 or 12. And I see her look at my banner and she points at it and then does this and then hops around because she's so excited and she can't believe I'm there. And that was
mm.
surreal for me because I was like, I remember doing that when I was little and seeing people that I thought were famous, right? And so it was a full circle moment. And I gave her a sticker because I was like, I want to make the moment right. Like, I
Hmm.
want her to remember this. She's going to remember it. Um, and I do the same thing at any convention, right? Like, I'm not there timing how long I have with people. I'm going to talk to them for as long as I want to talk to them. Because it's not about the money, it's about the connection. Um, and I want to make the moment right. So, like, if someone's like, I'm sorry, I can't afford anything, I'm like, do you want a sticker? Like,
Hmm.
let me give you something because I don't know when I'll be back. So let me give you something to make the moment right. Um, yeah, it's, I don't know. Those connections are why I love art. Um, it's just a reminder of the power of storytelling. It's really special.
Yeah, like I can't. We can kind of like identify with that because like one like a couple years ago, like I just randomly submitted for us to do a panel, And they were like, yeah, sure. And we were like, what? And so,
Huh?
like, we're just walking to the door, whatever. And we're like, oh, there's people standing over there. I wonder what they're going in for. And we're just setting up. And then all of a sudden people start flooding in. And we're like, they're here for us?
Right?
So, like, it's that, like you said, that imposter syndrome where it's just kind of like, you don't even know who we are. Like, why are you here? And you kind of have to like you have to like get out of your own head and get out of that nervousness and like you said, make it memorable. Or
Yeah.
like our mantra is like this should always be fun. And so like if it's not fun, then we shouldn't do it.
Right.
And maintaining that fun is kind of what has kept us going. So
Yep. And when I was in college, our scenic design professor had a saying, and he was like, "It's called a play. You're supposed to have fun." And so now I carry that into everything I do. Thank you, Michael Heil. But it, it's a motto for everything. I want to play, so have fun, rather than it is a play. It's called a play, and that way it kind of works for everything. Just have fun.
okay. So I have I think three more quick hitters, quick questions. Jack, do you have any more?
Uh, not at the moment.
Not at the moment. All right. So I'll hit you with this one because you've named a lot of names that you shouted out. So like, how important is like the community, the voice acting community to you? Because you've given a lot of names credit here, and I love to hear that you're willing to shout these people out and be like, hey, thank you. And this person really did this for me. And this person gave me this nugget of wisdom. And like, how important is that community for you again in such a competitive environment?
Right. And I think that's sometimes what intimidates people or maybe even scares them away from like getting started because they have this feeling that everyone in this industry is competing with one another and it's dog eat dog and you have to beat them. And I feel like honestly in voiceover it's more friendly than that, even than in like on camera work. That still felt a little dog eat dog to me. But I feel like voice actors are incredibly supportive. Um, and we recognize that there's enough work for all of us. And so it's like friendly competition because sure we want the role, but also if
Mm-hmm.
my friend gets it, that's freaking cool, right? Because that means they're the best actor for the role, and I'm just glad I had the opportunity to read for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because auditioning is the job. If I book it, that's just an added bonus. Um, but it's yeah, community is everything. Um, but that's how stories got started in the first place. They were passed down from generation to generation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we have art today. Um, and now we use those stories to encourage, support, change, lift up, um, and it's not lost its purpose. And that's why I think especially human stories and not AI generated stories are so powerful,
Mm-hmm.
um, because they are imperfect, they're flawed because we are imperfect and flawed human beings, and that's why they're relatable. um,
Exactly.
It's an
and I
ethos
want it to be
of
messy.
uh,
Yeah.
it's the ethos of Shakespeare too, in Weird Way too. Well, messy
Yeah.
situations, messy situations.
Yep. Yep. And I don't know. I like being able to present messy, flawed characters in storytelling. And I also like being able to be my messy, flawed self in person when I meet other people because that's real. And I want them to
Mm-hmm.
know that I'm just like them, right? Like I go through my own stuff. I have hardships. I got really lucky that this is my job and I love what I do. And I just want to be able to share that joy with others.
You do. It comes off.
Thank
So
you.
you're successful at that. Um, Where's my other question? Okay. All right. Here's my second to last one. So we're going to induct you into the 950 Club Golden Booth Hall of Fame. We're going to give you the Golden Mike Award. So when we give you this award, what roles, like maybe three roles, like what are the roles that you think embodies who you are as an actress?
Hmm. I feel like Hori and Sagari for
Hmm.
sure, because they really are like two sides of me, like Jekyll and Hyde almost. And then hmm, part of me wants to say Shaching from To Be Hero X, but I feel like she's
Hmm.
like both of those combined. So maybe I would say Angelica in Osan Nubi Adventurer
Okay.
because she's hilarious and maybe like comes off a bit proud or like intimidating and cold, but she really has a heart of gold underneath. And I know
Right.
like I can come off as intimidating and very bold because that's just who I am. But underneath it, I'm just a goober like everyone else. Yeah,
Or one I can't help but think because I feel like this character is part of you in a weird way too. Misha Jar from I'm in Love with Villainess.
that would
Hmm.
also make sense. Yes. Yep.
Uh,
Very much part of me. Yeah. It was so fun.
yeah, almost like Bridget, kind of like his own villain in a weird, twisted way, but you were actually rooting for him.
Right. Yeah.
Because that show's ridiculous as it is.
Keep hoping for another season. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, man,
It's
but it
it's
would be
pop
cool.
it's popular manga. Edwin, our co-host Edwin, he's read it. He likes it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Fingers crossed. Fingers
The
crossed.
actors would love to come back. I'm just saying.
Hmm. Maybe you could borrow one of Venom Machine's seasons.
Yo,
Get a new one.
I'll have my people call their people. That's what.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So my last question, and this is the question that we ask everybody, is who do you think we should interview next? But the caveat
Oh,
is you got to put in a good word for us. You got to
there
put
it
in a
is.
good word for us.
Hmm. I feel like I have so many options, and I'm like,
That's okay.
should I?
We're not going to limit you.
Okay, cool. Um, have y'all gotten to talk to Hannah Alia yet?
No.
Okay, because they voice Ray in Villainous, and
Mm.
there you go. There you
they
go.
love talking about that show, and they're also a hoot and a half and really cool.
All right.
That's who I would recommend.
All right,
I'll
Hannah, you're on the
I'll
clock.
text them and be like, "Hey, yo, put
There
in a
you
good
go.
word for you."
Thank you. Give her the razor Ramon. That's cool. Hannah, you're on the clock. You heard it here first.
There it is.
So thank you. Jack, you got another one?
Oh, that is it.
That is it. So, Marissa, definitely thank you for your time.
Of
You were
course.
awesome. We were glad we can make this happen. And we want to provide you this opportunity to plug yourself, your social media, whatever you want people to watch, what you want people to buy. Is your store back up yet?
No, not
No?
currently.
Okay.
We'll see when I do that. I never really know. Kind of fly by the seat of my pants.
Mm. It's all good. Well, plug yourself.
Woo! All right. Yes, it's me, Marissa Duran. You can find me on Instagram at Marissa Duran with one S in Marissa. And then you can find me on Twitter/X and Blue Sky at Marissa Duran underscore because my actual name was taken. Um, it's so frustrating, but it's fine. I'm also on my own website, marissa-duran.com. If you don't include the hyphen, you end up on a photographer's website and she gets a lot of emails from people thinking it's me. It's not me. Um,
What do you mean? Who's this vending machine?
literally, yeah. Oh, I feel so bad. I'm sorry, other Marissa Duran.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't feel bad. She's the one that got your blue sky, probably.
maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know.
right. It's a Marissa Duran battle on every platform. Yeah.
And if you haven't watched, or you maybe gave up watching, or you didn't make it all the way through, you should watch Hell's Paradise because season two is amazing.
Yeah, there's a semi delay
Yes.
with the dub, and now it's catching up.
Yep.
like
Mhm.
2 episodes worth. And
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
I caught back up, especially the key episodes, because I've rewatched the first season twice already, and now I'm
Yeah.
rewatching this season twice already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is that
The
good this
animation
season?
is so
Yeah.
beautiful this
it
season.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
And you were also in Mappa's Zenshu as well, so you got the Mappa
Yeah.
Hmm.
connection. Yeah.
Yeah. Zenshi was great too. Zenshi was great
So
too.
good.
Well, thank you again for joining us. You're officially part of the family now. So like any convention that comes through Chicago, we're putting your name in.
Sounds
And
like a plan.
next time you're in Chicago, we got a coffee for you. I'm not a coffee drinker. Jack could probably help me out with getting you a coffee there.
Sick.
He knows coffee better than I do. But you're on the list and we'll definitely be in that merch line for sure.
Woohoo!
So thank you for joining us. Thank you everybody for tuning into the 950 Club. Jamal, Jack, Marissa, we'll holler at you guys later.
Yay!
Yay. It's not stopping.